uh, to remind everyone that anyone who lives or works in San Francisco and who is experiencing COVID-19 symptoms can now get tested. Even if you don't think you have all the symptoms, please go on the website, which is sf.gov/city test SF, and you will be able to schedule your appointment, or you can call 311 if you don't have access to a computer or internet. And now I will hand over the floor to Delia Fitzpatrick. Thank you.
Hi, this is Delia Fitzpatrick. I'm with the OMI Community Collaborative and also with Our Kids First after school program. We're gonna go around and do, we are going to do introductions, and we're gonna start off with Monica Chinchilla.
Yes, hello everyone. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys all had a great weekend and Memorial Day yesterday. My name is Monica Chinchilla from Supervisor Safai's office, and I'll be providing an update after introductions.
All right. Daniel Holmesy. Daniel.
Did we lose?
You're muted, Daniel. You're muted.
Not by design. Hey, it's Daniel Holmesy checking in with the Neighborhood Empowerment Network. Great to see everybody.
All right. We have next will be David Munoz.
Hi, everyone. David Munoz with Community Youth Center and Resilient OMI.
All right. Next, we have Lynn. Lynn Mays.
Hi, everyone. Lynn from the Ocean View branch. Nice to see you all.
Nice to see you. We have Mary Evelyn Thomas.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for letting me be here.
All right. Nice to see you. Okay, Patty. Patty Clement.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you all.
Renard.
Renard Monroe, Youth First. Good to see everybody.
Very good. Scott Falcone.
Affordable Housing Development Consultant that is part of the Balboa Reservoir team. Nice to be here again. Thanks. Thanks, Delia.
Thank you. Teresa.
Teresa Didios at Stone Sun Family YMCA.
Hello. All right. I'm going through, make sure, am I missing anybody? Laura Padilla, state your name, where you're from.
Hi everyone, Laura Padilla with Mission Y, an OMI resident.
All right. I think we've got like 15 people from the emergency board managing this call. Not 15, but pretty much. We're gonna start off. I know David Munoz had a timing constraint, so we're gonna start with him and then go to Monica.
Perfect,
Awesome.
No worries.
All right.
Thanks, Monica, and thanks, Delia. I appreciate it. So we just wanted to follow up on the volunteer assistance program. We just had our first meeting today, and it went really well. So we wanted to start working on crafting our message so that we can recruit the volunteers. And so the message is pretty much crafted. COIC is going to translate that message, and then we need the CC's help to actually get that message out. So Delia has been kind enough to set up a Google Voice number that will be attached to an OMICC email. So we're also going to need help managing that platform as well. So just as you keep listening to our updates, just keep in mind where you think you best fit in order to help us out so that we can stand up this volunteer network and have it be long lasting. So that's the first thing we worked on. The second thing we worked on is using our budget to see what type of actual COVID preparedness kit we can create. So we came up with a few ideas, and we're going to work on budgeting for our next meeting so we can get those ordered. So stay tuned. It's really exciting, and I think we have our message crafted, which is really important. So more updates will come soon. Thank you.
Hey, David, this is Daniel, really quick. Sorry I missed the call earlier, but I did send over the guidance document that we submitted to OMICC Neighbors in Action earlier around volunteer activation and onboarding. So if you want, we can review that later.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, David. Thank you, David. Anything else? Or are we having another meeting next week?
Absolutely. I think the standing time works really well, just right before this meeting. And if it works for all others involved, then that's perfect.
Okay. All right. So Patty will work, Patty, Mary, Al, and myself will work with you on getting on a call on a weekly basis.
Great, thanks. I'll send you all the Zoom link.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Monica?
Yes, hi, good afternoon, everyone. So just providing a quick update from the supervisor's office. If you all didn't hear last week, we opened up a new site for testing at City College, and that's open to everyone via appointment only. So make sure you sign up for appointment. The state has identified 94112 as a priority just because of, I don't know if you guys have seen, we're the second highest in terms of COVID infection rates within the city. And so we're grateful that the state actually has partnered with the city to make sure this testing site is available for all residents within the south and southeast part of the city. So if you haven't, please share that information if you haven't yet, but and sign up if you can, or if you have symptoms. Also, some other updates as well. Last week, the mayor's budget office gave instructions to each department it was originally 3% in January that each department needed to reduce their expenditures. Now it's 10%, and it's looking like 15% in year 21-22. And so it's, this is as a result of the COVID crisis and loss of revenue, et cetera, from the city. And so I will be working with the different departments just to kind of monitor and double check on all our programs, because we want to make sure that we're communicating with them now to make sure that our programs are protected so that we don't find out too late, when cuts are made. And so if you have any questions or concerns during this time, you can feel free to contact me. We had confirmed the mayor's budget office for our CBO weekly check-in tomorrow. They got back to me and said they might need to delay it just because we're on a short timeline in terms of balancing the budget by the end of the week. But I'm trying to see if the deputy or someone else from there, from that office can attend tomorrow for the CBO discussion, just to answer some more questions for you all. So I'll keep you updated on that progress, as we'll have an answer later today.
Okay.
In addition to that, there's some orders from Governor Newsom about the reopening of places of worship, as well as today about barbershops and other salons reopening. Now, we're still checking in with DPH to see how SF will follow or not with these orders. The state can issue guidance, but again, it's up to each county to make the decision whether that's best for their local population. And so I know Daniel and the EOC team, like as DPH is working on those decisions, we can get that out to community as quickly as possible. In addition to that, we still continue to support, food insecurity within our district with the food distribution sites. We are looking for a couple of other long-term partners that want to be neighborhood pantries. As we're, planning that the recovery of COVID-19 won't just happen in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. We want to make sure that we have spaces in place that can continue to meet the food needs of our community as we go through this for the next year and a half to 2 years. So if there are any organizations within the OMI who haven't already signed up to be a distribution site or a neighborhood pantry, please let me know so we can work with the EOC and yourselves to get you signed up. Okay. And besides that, I think that is it for today. If there's any other questions, I'm more than happy to take some. Oh, besides that, it's now that we're kind of reopening, some of our services, we still as an office are now trying to move forward with the many projects that we had on our plate before COVID-19. So finishing the parks at Alice Chalmers and Merced Heights, and getting the traffic light on Teresa and Alamany. So and the speed bumps installed within the OMI. And so now that more work is resuming, these projects are moving forward as well.
Okay.
So that's all for me.
Okay. All right, any questions for Monica? Raise your hand. All right.
Everyone's so shy, it's okay.
I have a question.
It's good to see. Go ahead, yes, Miss Mary.
Okay, so there's some providers that are in the OMI, they're not getting support. So how can we get that support?
Yes, of course. So yes, I've been working with Miss Monique and Delia. I reached out to Ingrid Mesquita from OECE today to set up a call with the African American providers within the OMI this week. And so I'm waiting on their availability, waiting on Miss Ingrid's availability for when that call will take place. But yes, we've heard that many African American providers are having that trouble with the PPE. So we want to make sure to support you now before you reopen. So as soon as that date and time is set, we will let you know.
Did we ever, sorry, thank you, Mary. Did we ever get the bottles for the hand sanitizer?
We have the large bottles, yes, but not the smaller ones. And so we haven't been able to secure that. So what we're just gonna have to do is just work with the providers to, hey, here's a gallon. And so we have 15 gallons to distribute, and this is just the first round. UC Berkeley has said that they can get more gallons. And so we're just gonna have to give it out in the bulk size to the organizations if you need it. So please let me know. We can coordinate that drop off. Or Daniel, if you guys have a hookup within the EOC for small bottles for sanitizer, please let me know. I know, I know. That's Vanessa as well. We searched online, we've asked. It's really hard to come by, unfortunately. So we're just gonna have to give Yes, John.
I was gonna say, could you send us the ask just amount? There is a means we have to make a request of controlled substances. I know it's not the right word. What do they call it? Limited resources. I can't promise anything, but what I will do is make the ask.
Yes.
Okay,
if we need
perfect.
Controlled substances, we leave the building.
Really?
Please don't repeat that.
So
it's recorded,
you've been recorded.
It's just like, so here's the thing is that there is John's absolutely correct. I'm just regurgitating what he just said. So we do have some infrastructure that we can leverage. And so they are, because the city is procuring a lot of inventory right now. And I haven't heard about empty bottles though. So happy to do some research on that. And also the Department of Environment has some vendors too lined up. Just a matter of figuring out how to manage the distribution. So please send, and do you have a number, Monica, regarding
we have
volume?
15 large gallons, and so we're anticipating about 5,000 small bottles.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's actually better than 5 in a way, just because it's the kind of volume that I think this system works with. So appreciate the opportunity to support that request.
Perfect. I will email you guys right away regarding that.
Thank you.
So that could be a good solution. Yay.
Look at that collaboration. Collaboration.
Can I go home now?
No.
Oh, darn it.
Okay, anything else? Any other questions? All right. Okay, very good.
Perfect. All right, well, thank you all for your time. You have my email, my number. Let me know what's needed as we're kind of evolving at this point as more businesses are reopening. And so wanting to make sure that each organization has PPE, that each organization is retrained. And so just let me know what you guys need. We'll be happy to support.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Out of all of the CBOs and daycares and nonprofits that are on the call, how many are opening, are expected to open by the 15th of June? Raise your hands. All right. I'm looking. Okay. All right.
So what agencies are those? Can we get a verbal on that?
Okay. State your name and your organization that will be opening, please.
This is Jonestown. We've actually been serving families since shelter in place. And so we're just changing it to a summer program. And so it's a pop-up that we've had. And so we've been serving kids for a while already.
How many kids?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry?
How many?
How many kids?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know total, but I don't know total, but we're also serving preschool kids.
Okay.
But I think probably we're serving 200 families across the city in all of our Ys that we have opened.
Okay.
Is your entire campus open?
I mean the YMCA, you mean?
Yeah, like at Stonestown, is the whole campus open and being used, or just portions of it?
No, just the annex. The annex is open, yeah.
So when you say you're going to open, when do you see your campus reopening? Or you only have a partial reactivation?
We're reactivating the gym, like across the YCAs. We're hoping next week or a couple of weeks, but we have been offering virtual exercise classes and other services virtually.
I guess one question is, and maybe we can finish the report out, is for me, a key thing is just making sure you're getting the technical guidance you need to meet the standards for safety. And I don't want to say cleanliness, but I think you know what I mean by that. Sanitation, I guess. So maybe at the end, we could do a roundtable because I'm working with the Department of Environment on some stuff.
I have another meeting I'm hopping off. But yes, we have been, our risk management, we have fidelity checks. And so we're in compliance with CDC and also Department of Public Health. And so, yes, we are aware.
Great. Go Y.
All right. Thank you. Mary?
We're going to open this week and, well, probably next Monday. We were trying to open today, but it didn't work out. We're doing great. We're going to have 10 children at the most, and that's it.
Okay. And are you getting adequate support for your ability to comply with any of the new standards, CDC, et cetera, et cetera?
Trying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really important, and we want to make sure that you can reach out because we're trying to we're looking to line up some guidance and resources. So if you're having barriers as far as accessing cleaning supplies or what are the standards and guidance or training, that's actually really helpful for us to know.
Right now it's gloves, masks.
Okay.
We're not sure exactly how many because we're not sure how it's going to be working out. But gloves, masks. I have some sanitary stuff, and I'm buying stuff. So, thank you. And
then your thermometer. I got to drop it off today, Mary.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
We're going to try to I'm going to call Taps Plastic to get some so I can go outside and meet the parents and all that. So.
Great idea.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else starting?
Renard, did you say you were going to open up?
Yes. Well, am I muted? Am I back on?
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry. Monica was just texting me as well. It's been crazy. Well, so we've never really closed down. We've been doing the virtual learning and actually doing the outreach as well with all of our participants. But we're going to actually open up for the summer camp for June 15th. I definitely need to connect with you, Daniel, to have some things in place. I reached out to Delia last week just because I have my own personal concerns with what goes on, how we're supposed to do this properly. And in the summer, it's real. I was hoping that Jackie would be on the call because in the summer, the last 2 summers, I collaborate with Park and Rec because we do a collaboration with Mega Camp. Our programs are actually together during the summer. And with the pods, the way the pods are supposed to work, the cells, supposed to be groups of 12, not supposed to intermingle. Each 12 should be in a room by themselves. So we just need to work out the logistics on how many kids we're going to have during the summer. Because if we're doing it with 12 per room, then that means we only have 4 rooms that we can isolate kids, which means that's only 48 kids that we can serve during the summer. Mega Camp last summer alone had 102 each session and 102 kids, and I had 70 kids each session. And so it was already a challenge last year, and now the way that they have it set up with the guidelines that we received on Friday, the limited, is we have to prioritize the essential workers, children first,
right,
and then people who are in the program second, and then open it up to the public third. So doing that is going to cause a lot of people who won't be able to have summer services anyway.
right.
And so it's just a big challenge, and getting everybody, the Zoom thing, it doesn't work as far as us walking to each other's office and actually having meetings, because getting everybody on the same page on Zoom, it really doesn't do us justice. Like, you know what I mean? Where we can really hash out things. So it's a little frustrating right now. So I definitely need to connect with you, Daniel, as far as putting some things in place, especially getting the PPE, because I would like to make sure that every child, I can't force any child to wear a mask, but I would want to make sure that every participant that comes in, every parent that comes by the community center has access to a mask. Has access to, well, we have a bunch of soap, but maybe some hand sanitizer where we can make sure that things are handled properly. The social distancing shouldn't be an issue of setting up everything, looking at the logistics, but the numbers is what my fear is, and making sure that we follow everything.
What agencies do you receive funding from the city, Renard?
DCYF.
Okay.
And haven't put out their guidelines yet, because Maria Sue was on the call and on Zoom, and they were supposed to release something today, but I keep checking my email, There's nothing there. I know Delia's funded as well. There's nothing there.
Okay.
And every day, like, my staff is on the Zoom. They Zoom 2 to 6 every day. My staff is like, hey, all these parents are hopping on asking me questions about summer program, and it's like, hold on, wait a second, we'll get there.
Who's your contact? Who's your contact at DCYF?
I have Glenn Adick is my program officer, and also she just got removed, but Debbie Tisdale, they moved all of our workers around. I don't know if you know,
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
So they moved all of our program officers around. I know Deidre Jackson is also one of the point persons, but they've redistricted everyone, so it's kind of hard.
And Mary, who's your biggest vendor?
I go through early ed program through early learning scholarships, Wu Yi, Children's Council.
Okay, great.
But yeah.
Thank you.
My youth workers obviously come from MIEP and also Mission Neighborhood Center, the workforce development, as we do gardening projects.
Anybody? Thank you, Renard. Anybody else starting or opening soon? I know for our Kids First, we on the same boat as Renard, trying to figure out what we're going to be doing, but we would like to open for June 15th. Just trying to get those details, what DCYF is advising for us. All right. Daniel, anything else?
Yeah, is Patty there? Patty Clement? I see her there. Here she is.
I try not to be.
And Patty, you haven't stopped operations, have you? Did you terminate operations at any point?
Well, at the Adult Day program, we did stop on April 3rd, and we're doing a survey right now with our caregivers and seeing what it might look like if we were to open and what their interest level is or anxiety level. And I can tell you, some of them are chomping at the bit. They literally do drive-bys with the clients to interact and do, waving from a distance and stuff. And it's important for some of them because they're trying to help them remember that this is what they do. Because they keep going, I need to go to club or school. And trying to explain to them that it's closed is, you can't really get them to comprehend it. Our senior center has never closed. We don't have on-site activities, but they're doing virtual activities. We're still doing multiple food distributions from there. There's a lot of food going out of the parking lot over here, but not necessarily my food. It's other group. And, so yeah, so we're just looking at the whole gamut of how it might change and
Are you getting technical guidance on operations from Catholic Charities at all, or how are you getting your roadmap?
So we're looking at the governor saying, we're looking at what DPH is saying, the CDC is saying. We, in some ways, we're ahead of the ballpark. We started doing continuity business plans back in March, and so we're constantly updating them into phase 2 and phase 3 and now opening stage. And what does it take for each of our programs individually to reopen? And then licensing and I talked a couple weeks ago, though, they called to see if we were still open or we're going to reopen, and we'll have them come and check us out before we can actually reopen the daycare. The senior center, it's working with DOS, and following all the guidelines that everybody else is putting out.
Great, thank you.
Laura Padilla, do you have anything to add for opening your site?
So mission-wide, we run the same. So the YMCA is kind of zooms operations all at once. So like what Stone Sound's doing is mission-wide is providing essential services. Well, it's childcare to workers that are working essential services, and we will be launching a virtual camp, and then just expanding what we're calling our pop-ups, pop-up childcare centers for essential workers. So I personally am curious what we're going to qualify as essential workers as we reopen everything, because if we're all being asked to come back to work, I don't know, there's just going to be an increase in childcare. Some of, as a mom, and they're worried about that. But the Y is open, and providing childcare and planning for summer.
Okay. Lynn, did I talk to you already?
No. Hey, there's so far no plan that I know of to begin anything other than the virtual services that are already happening at the library. I'm keeping my ear to the ground though, and if I know anything, I will let you all know.
All right. Thank you. All right, I think we've talked to everyone. Daniel, do you have technical assistance once we get the guidelines from DCYF? Do you have the time to talk to me and Renard about reopening?
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure that piece out. So maybe I could is it fair just to do a little? So one of the things I'm concerned about is that cultural competency. I think that we can recognize that here, maybe just validate what my observations are here. One is, first of all, we need a set of standards that we know, obviously escalate up. So as if we're all running restaurants now, we kept our buildings clean before, but we know obviously there's another level of cleanliness. Two, I also am under the impression that it's not going to just be the janitor's job anymore. Like we're going to have real-time maintenance going on all day. So staff members that traditionally haven't had to do that kind of work are probably going to have to be onboarded as deliverers of those programs, and also standards, right? So, helping them understand like what physical distancing is. I mean, I just want to put out there like how to determine whether or not a mask is properly fitted, et cetera, et cetera. And then the final piece is obviously a lot of the folks that do normally provide these services, English may not be their primary language or their language at all. And so us getting all this information is great, but then how's it ultimately being translated and delivered to the people that need to really internalize and own these behaviors And so just starting a conversation with some organizations that have language skills to maybe consider seeing if they could handle doing like trainings in the appropriate language for staff that ultimately just make sure that we just don't drop paper on people and say, you know, read this and figure it out, like afford them the same technical support and guidance that we would offer everyone around such a mission critical role. So just wanted to put out there that that's a conversation I'm having inside the building, since, you know, I used to manage restaurants and businesses, and there is an important backbone of our industry or industries that language and sometimes even reading is not something that they can easily do. And I just don't want to fall into a trap of making a lot of assumptions and us not reaping the benefits of what our intent is. So that's why I was just trying to glean that. And Renard and folks, I'd love to learn more about that, because I think all of us have that goal of empowering our employees, but how do you do it in a way that also allows you to focus on what you're great at? And that's sort of the high level thought I had. So,
okay. All right.
If that's valuable, I'll keep working on it. But if people don't think has merit or benefit, then I'd be more than happy to stand down. But I just get the impression that might be helpful.
I think that would be helpful as we're moving forward. A lot of this is about cultural competency, and even in the middle of all of this pandemic, it's heightened the need,
mm-hmm.
and we have to continue in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get together. Any other announcements? Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Renard. Thank you, everybody. Scott Falcone, did you want to announce anything or say anything about the meeting tomorrow or Thursday?
Oh, thanks, Delia. I've talked about it before, and I'm really just here to answer any questions anyone has after looking over some of the materials. The Planning Commission is hearing the Balboa Reservoir proposal on Thursday. Delia has some of that information, so if anyone's interested and has not gotten that information from her or me, you can let her know. But yeah, the hearing's at 3 o'clock, and everyone is welcome to join, to write a letter, or to join over the web if you're interested, and follow the hearing and make public comment if you'd like.
I sent the information about an hour ago to everyone, so
okay.
Everyone has that information. All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah, I tried to distill it down to really, you know, a lot of the benefits. You know, it's 1,100 units of housing, so it's a lot of homes, and half of them are market rate and half of them are affordable. And the new child care center and the new neighborhood park is there, and a lot of transportation improvements for the neighborhood with Muni and some of the pedestrian ways and bikeways. So there's a bunch of stuff in there, and if you haven't been following it, it might seem a little overwhelming to kind of distill it all. But again, if you have questions about it, I'm happy to talk about it now, or you can follow up with me or Delia after you've gotten a chance to look at the information if you're interested.
Any other questions from anyone regarding the Balboa Reservoir? I think we don't. Thank you, Scott.
Okay. Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thanks, everyone, for your time.
Okay. So next week's meeting, next Tuesday, we will continue the conversation in regards to the wellness box, spending down the additional monies. The core group will meet at 12 o'clock. If you want to or have some feedback, please let me know. That meeting at 12 o'clock, the meeting at 12 o'clock will be with David Munoz, Daniel Holmesy, Patty Clement, myself, and I got text messages and calls going on at the same time. And we will be talking about the bags and how can we use our current body or if we can use Monica, Supervisor Safai's office to help with managing the volunteers that we hope to get through this effort. I'm sure we'll talk more about budgets, and I'm sure we will have other needs that need to be talked about through Daniel, and probably some technical assistance if we need to branch off and do another a different meeting about technical assistance as we go forward trying to open or reopen on the 15th of June. Anything else we need to add? Hopefully also Laura will have an update in regards to the MOHCD grant going forward, if there is any such funds for that. And we can have that back on the agenda. Anything else anyone would like to add? All right. Thank you very much, everybody. So nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Nice to see you all. Bye.
Bye. I'll see you later, Mary.
Okay, thank you. I'll be here.
All right.
Sorry, I just wanted to call this real quick because we did receive.
Thank you, everyone. And Delia, if you can